Hi, my name is Aria Umezawa. I'm from the Merola class of 2016. I had a really amazing musical upbringing when I was a child. My mother is an amazing musician. My father loves to play music at home. And then at the public school that I went to in Toronto, we had this music teacher, Miss Stanfield, who used to take us to the COC dress rehearsals every time they had a show. So before I was even in double digits in age, I think I had seen Lucia de Lammermoor, Turandot, Beatrice and Benedict, like all sorts of operas. And I remember it was Turandot in particular, the first time I saw that when Liu died, that I just was completely floored. And I thought to myself, I want to do that for a living. And then I went to university. And initially, I think because when I was 8, I thought the only way you could work in opera was to be an opera singer. I sort of tirelessly pursued this goal and ended up going to university for vocal performance. But the first time I stepped on stage in front of an audience, I knew immediately that I'd made a horrible mistake. And so took a year off to figure out what exactly about opera I love. And what it ended up being, the answer was I love collaboration, I love storytelling, I love working with people. And so when I returned to my studies, I switched over to stage directing. And that's all she wrote. The truth is, there were so many high points to Merola. I can't really identify one that I love more than the others. I think in terms of the productions I worked on, certainly working with the singers and the pianists on the Merola grand finale, which was a huge highlight. Being in the room for the rehearsals and getting to watch the other directors and how they worked was a huge, huge highlight. Some of the shenanigans we got into in San Francisco that summer, like a bunch of us did an escape room, for example. I know Jennifer Cito and I became fast friends and ended up hiking all over the city. Those are there are too many fond memories to really name just one. Oh, and the Canada Day celebration, Terry and Bob's Canada Day celebration made me feel right at home, even though we were across the country. Yeah, so in 2019, I co-founded a new arts organization called Amplified Opera, and our mandate is to place equity-seeking artists at the center of public discourse, so that audiences can engage with diverse and challenging cultural experiences. And I think that this is an important mandate for a number of reasons. First of all, I think that an artist-centered approach to creation is something that is very sorely needed in the opera industry, sort of asking artists to find inspiration and resonance for works from their very unique perspectives is something that, because we're so focused on preservation and fidelity to the score, we don't often see reimaginings of these stories that are really artist driven. They're usually like director driven or or what have you. So I think really starting from an artist's perspective is just an important avenue to explore when it comes to opera creation. And then more broadly, I think we as a society in general, I think need to learn how to hold space for different perspectives, to see the nuances and the shades of gray that exist within communities and allow them to tell unique stories and understand that multiple truths can be true at the same time, to overuse the word truth, but to really show that there's a diverse, I think Asian Heritage Month is coming up in May. And I always think words like this, when I do BIPOC panels or women in opera panels, or when I'm speaking from my Japanese Canadian heritage, like all of these labels are really insufficient words to describe the broad spectrum of experiences that happen underneath those umbrellas. So Amplified Opera's mission is to provide a platform for people who want to speak authentically as themselves and to say that that is worthy of elevation. Outside of opera, I love cooking. That's one of the things I think surprises a lot of people actually when they see me in my home environment, that I spend a lot of time going to like markets and getting food and bringing it back to my place and cooking for people. I love getting together with friends and just sort of hanging out and being creative and doing various like crafts or maybe singing just for the sake of it for ourselves. And this sounds like it's work, like outside of opera, but I truly enjoy this. I love going to theater and dance and opera and art galleries and movies. And I feel like almost I could go to a different show or shows or gallery exhibitions every single day and never get tired. So that really fires me up. June 1st, I'm co-directing a new show, the premiere of a new show called The Queen and Me. That's a co-direction with the amazing Andrea Donaldson, and that's a co-production with the Canadian Opera Company, my company, Amplified Opera, and two theater companies, Nightwood Theatre and Theatre Gargantua in Toronto. And then if you can't make it to Hawaii or Toronto, I'll be at Opera Philadelphia in September working on The Raven by Toshio Hosokawa there. And if you can't make any of those and would still love to connect, you can find me at my website, www.ariaumezawa.com, or on Instagram at Umezawaria, so like a weird squishy elided version of my name. And yeah, that I would be happy to connect with any of you there.